Hey, what's up, Pep Nation? Today we're gonna start our warm-up. We're gonna start with phase one, some soft tissue preparation. Really try to unglue some of those tight areas with some barbell smash. So we're gonna get onto that barbell, really try to unglue some of those areas and those hamstrings and calves that might be kind of bound up and tight. Phase number two is our ladder series warm-up. This is a fun, energetic warm-up that gets your heart rate up. But most importantly, the ladder focuses on priming our central nervous system to increase ground contact time and our body's ability to move more efficiently, developing greater control and the capabilities for improving coordination, timing, fluidity, rhythm, and most of all, speed in our transitions as a multi-directional athlete, while integrating dynamic stretches to increase our range of motion and prepare our bodies for explosive maximum velocity work this session. The entire ladder circuit will always start with a movement pattern in the ladder that involves both directions, followed by a jog out and then a dynamic stretch coming back. The circuit will begin with lateral, forward and back, lead, foot, jab step, making sure to coordinate and synchronize your upper and lower body. Coming back, we're gonna be doing a lunge with a T-spine mobility followed by a hamstring kick. So the second ladder drill is a forward inside lead foot jab step. Keep about 1 foot away from the ladder to give your inside foot some space to move in and out of the ladder. Coming back is going to be a cross body pull to a Superman to a hamstring kick. The third ladder drill is gonna be our forward outside foot hip flip. So we're getting some body dissociation, making sure to keep your body square throughout the drill. On the way back, we're gonna be doing a hip pull to a side-to-side lunge and rotation. The fourth ladder drill is our quick feet in and out, focusing on not getting your feet too wide outside the ladder. On the way back, we're doing inchworms with a push-up. We got 5 of those. The last one is our Icky Shuffle. You wanna be nice and quick and dynamic forward and make sure that you're nice and controlled on the way back. Our last exercise is dynamic leg swings against the wall. We're doing inside leg kicks and forward leg kicks. Then we're all ready to go. What an amazing warm-up. We're all ready for this high velocity work today. Let's go, baby.
All right, guys, so as soon as we did the warm-up, we went straight into our stability work before we went into the max intent and max velocity stuff. So the first exercise that we did was a superset. It was a single leg RDL ISO hold with a rear delt fly, just working on really making sure those obliques, the hips are turned on as the weight moves further away from the center of gravity, really stabilizing through that stance leg. The second exercise in this superset was a bent knee contralateral overhead single arm dumbbell press. And again, same thing, as that weight is moving further away from the center of gravity, really trying to stabilize through that stance leg. This is great for pretty much any sport that requires dynamic stabilization. All right, so our second superset of this stability complex was a single leg box rise and hold. So that is one leg, we're really dorsiflexing that foot, bringing the toe towards the shin, driving up and then balancing in that calf raise position. Just working on the elasticity of that Achilles tendon, making sure that we can store and produce energy through that ankle all the way through the knee and the hip. The second exercise was a single leg lateral depth jump. Again, really working on that glute med strength, the external stabilizers of the knee, making sure that we're nice and stable and ready to go for our max intent work. Our first exercise here after the stability complex are really working on rapid relaxation and quick concentric action of the muscle, which is super important in making sure that we can quickly produce force from whichever joints, muscles are required. Now, what we did for the first exercise was a TRX ISO hold, where I lifted both of the athlete's legs and then randomly dropped one. Now the point here is to be in that nice tight position, but just be relaxed, closing your eyes if you want to, or you can keep them open. And then as soon as I drop one leg, just rapidly reacting and concentrically contracting that side hip, the unstable hip, to make sure that you don't move as much as you possibly can. All right, so the second exercise is called a Stampin Switch. Now, all that they're trying to do really here is work on those quick eccentric forces and high loading through one leg, which is so important in sport, because when you rapidly change direction in any sport, you really need to make sure that your muscles and your joints can handle maximum velocities. And really that's what we're trying to work on here with this Stampin Switch. All right, guys, so on to the next portion of our workout, which is really working on that speed strength. We picked 2 lifts because of the fact that this workout requires such a high level of energy. We want to make sure that we're not doing too much in the workout. So we picked 2 lifts, very basic lifts, the squat and the bench press. The point of this was to work in that speed strength zone, which, because we have the use of push technology, we're going to track the bar velocity. Now, what we want these guys to be in is the zone of 1 to 1.3. With the squat, they're just doing a half squat, and then with the bench press, they're doing a full bench press. Both lifts have a 2-second eccentric followed by an explosive press. Now, if you don't have access to push technology, no worries, just make sure that your intent is maximal. You're really trying to drive that bar up, and ideally you want nothing more than about 30 to 50% of your maximum weight used, your 1 rep max. That's what you want on these lifts to really work in that speed strength zone. There you go. There you go. That's it. That's it. Found it. All right, guys. So our next exercise, we actually didn't think about counting reps here at all, and the purpose of that is to make sure that we can produce the same level of power and for the same amount of time on each leg. Now, what we did was a low box step-up jump. We used the G-Flight V2 to measure the actual vertical height that they're getting through each step. And all that I did was I recorded each jump, and as soon as the percentage of the height that they gain on the first rep, as soon as that dropped below a certain amount, I went with a threshold of about 2 to 3 inches. We stopped the exercise dead, recorded the number of reps and the average height. Now, this is great for power endurance because you're never going to be able to produce force or power maximally or in a really controlled environment. So we want to make sure that under fatigue, both of these guys can still produce the same amount of power. We did that for both legs, really worked hard on that one. All right, guys, and our last exercise on our max intent, max velocity day was the Nordic Curl. Now, this is not a velocity training exercise at all. A lot of what we're doing is hip dominant and knee dominant in terms of squats are very knee dominant. Deadlifts, trap bar deadlifts, they're all hip dominant. We need to make sure that we're working those hamstrings through the knee as well. The Nordic Curl is a great exercise for injury prevention. Again, we're working with that eccentric tempo this week. So we did 2 sets of 8 with a 3-second eccentric.